This is Action Jack McClendon, Burgermeister behind the camera. We're in beautiful Palm Springs, California, and we're going to see a genius, the one and only Jimmy Webb. So I never thought I would meet Jimmy Webb because he is such a legend, but a good friend of ours who lived to be 101 and change was jazz legend Herb Jeffries. And Herb Jeffries said he believed in reincarnation because of two words.
Jimmy Webb.
And look at Jimmy laughed at he got a kick out of that. Also told him, anybody that I meet that believes in reincarnation, I always tell them it's nice seeing you again. But he told us a story that Willie Nelson also believed in reincarnation, but John Cash was a devout Bible-reading Christian, and John didn't believe in it. And he was afraid that that would cause problems when they recorded the song The Highwaymen. But John was a very reasonable, considerate, kind person. He said, whatever Willie wants to believe, it's fine with him. If Willie wants to talk about it, he's happy to do so. By the way, I noticed that Jimmy refers to Johnny Cash as John Cash, and that was in their relationship. Also to be noted is that Jimmy Webb, that's his name. It's not Jim. It's Jimmy Webb. That's on his birth certificate. And so he likes to be called Jimmy, not Jim. The one exception who would call him Jim would be Richard Harris. But nonetheless, and who were the four highwaymen?
Well, we mentioned Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson, so Waylon Jennings was one, and so was Chris Christopherson.
Now we're with people that we met there, and their names are?
Kim and Joe.
Yeah, and he was a medical doctor. He's now retired, and they are really incredible entertainers. And they reminded us of us because she is a very devout protector and also promoter of her husband, just like Bergie is of me. Now here we have Allison Porter. Who is Allison Porter?
Oh, some
well,
gal.
Well, it's right here. She won.
Some gal that won The Voice.
Right, a TV show. Christina Aguilar was her host. Or her coach.
Co-host. Her hosty coasty.
I thought they were really great. We had front row seats, and I just put a little bit in there, hoping that I don't get dinged by the constant trolls at YouTube saying you're not supposed to record anything. But she's been in movies. She's 42 years old. She's happily married. She loves her two children. And she was in a John Hughes film, and she sang, I think it was called Curly Sue. And then she's been in a ton of movies. Jimmy Webb wrote an autobiography, and the name of the autobiography is called
The Cake in the Rain. See it on the screen there.
And that's about MacArthur Park, which is a beautiful park in Los Angeles. And that was about his love with his high school sweetheart. Her name is Susie Horton. She was Miss Colton. And they met at MacArthur Park, and she told him that she's getting married to somebody else. There's her picture right there. Yeah. And that broke his heart. And then he, in the song, tells about everything that he saw that day. He was really aware about everything. And when you're really melancholy and sad, you often take in things that you just can't that you remember, and so that's what this is about. Now, these are the many people who have recorded the song MacArthur Park, and it's Barbra Streisand and Donna Summer and Glenn Campbell and Art Garfunkel and a ton of other people here. James Taylor, Johnny Rivers, Frank Sinatra, and they all referred to him as being a musical genius. Keith Urban, Linda Ronstadt, Nina Simone, Fifth Dimension, Kanye West, Taylor Swift. I mean, the list.
Really? Taylor Swift?
Yes. Nancy Sinatra. So it's quite a big list.
Well, he wrote so many songs to begin with. He didn't just write MacArthur Park. He wrote hundreds and hundreds.
Roberta Flack, Sammy Davis Jr. So MacArthur Park is...
He doesn't like being called Mozart.
And MacArthur Park is by the great Richard Harris. In the song, he makes a mistake. He calls it MacArthur's Park, as if the park was purchased and owned by MacArthur. No, it's called MacArthur Park, not MacArthur's Park. But if you listen to Richard Harris's version of it, it's MacArthur's Park incorrectly. That, by the way, that was done on one take. And to many people, that's considered one of the greatest songs ever. So you're looking at all the different people, R.E.M., Carly Simon, Rosemary Clooney, Maureen McGovern. And the first person to hear Jimmy sing and play piano was Satchmo, the Satch, Pops, L.A., Louis Armstrong. And Louis heard the 12-year-old Jimmy Webb playing on the piano. This time we almost made the pieces fit, didn't we? And the 12-year-old Webb could write music as fast as he could write. And Louis Armstrong knew it was a genius, and he says, "Keep up the good work, kid, you're going somewhere." So when MacArthur Park was first released by Richard Harris, that was actually the B-side. The A-side of the track was "This Time We Almost Made the Pieces Fit." So that was the B-side, but that became one of the greatest hits ever. And MacArthur Park is featured in the film that came out, the sequel to Beetlejuice, that came out in September 2024. And that's featured in that movie as well. So Donna Summers, Waylon Jennings, Richard Harris all made this a top song throughout the world. Another one of his top songs was Up, Up, and Away, and My Beautiful Balloon. That's by the Fifth Dimension, and I've got to meet the Fifth Dimension in the past. They're amazing artists, including their background in opera. So they're amazing singers. Jimmy wrote this song from an experience that he had in a hot air balloon. And at the time that he wrote the song, it was really the craze in Southern California. But people misinterpreted the song and thought he was talking about drugs, and he wasn't at all. He's actually talking about the hot air experience and how it makes you feel super like Superman. And Superman used to say in their early comics, "Up, up, and away." So that was the tie-in there. And the song, Up, Up, and Away, was banned in his home state of Oklahoma. But it had nothing to do with drugs at all. It had to do with the actual hot air balloon experience. Jimmy Webb has sold more than 50 million records worldwide, and it's growing. He's a 5-time Musician of the Year. He is in the Country Music Hall of Fame. And in addition to that, he's an 8-time Grammy Award winner with the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Awards. He's in the Musician Hall of Fame. And the great people like Elvis Presley would sing his praises, and Johnny Cash and Glenn Campbell and Taylor Swift all appreciated the genius on Keith Urban of Jimmy Webb. So on behalf of my lovely bride, Burgermeister, this is Action Jack saying we'll be back, and it'll be soon, and that's the name of that tune. Oh, and just one more thing. If you like this YouTube video, I know it's a simple thing to ask, but hit like, comment, and subscribe. That would do us a big favor.